I was on Brenna's podcast.
Yes.
And I mean, naturally, I got inspired. You were one of my inspirations to start my podcast. I don't know if I told you that, but yeah, you inspired me. I was like, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it. I've been wanting to do this for years. And now here we are in her living room. Yes. Thank you for inviting me into your home.
Yes.
And we're going to have a little chit chat, a little health chat.
Yes. Let's do it.
And don't be nervous. I know there's always a level of nerves that comes with, I mean, recording your conversation. It's definitely, it's becoming more of a normal thing to do. And I mean, you do it. You talk on social media. You talk in front of people. You are like the community girl. So yeah, just like let loose and let's be here.
Thank you.
So I'm going to give her a little bit of an intro. So Brenna and I met at adult summer camp yoga last summer. And I remember when I met you, I was like, I know you're a nurse. Do you remember me saying that?
No.
I was like, you don't remember?
No.
I was like, you're a nurse somewhere. And you were like, what? I was like, yeah, are you a nurse? Do you remember this?
Yes, I actually do think I remember this. Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, you're a nurse. And I don't know how I knew. I maybe was like in the hospital one day and saw you there, or like there was something. Somehow I knew. But now that I've known you for like almost a year, you are a nurse, but you are so much more than that. You are a community girl here in Calgary. You are the founder of Fun Frugal Fridays. Say that 10 times fast. Pause right now and say that 10 times fast. Seriously, like you love your, what do you call them when it's multiple letters in a row?
Alliteration.
She loves her alliteration.
It's true.
She moved here from Vancouver, or outside of Vancouver.
Lower Mainland.
Yes. Yet she just immersed herself in community, and I feel like everyone and their dog knows who Brenna is now. So if you don't know who Brenna is, this is her.
Thank you.
Round of applause for this lovely lady. I would love to start by hearing a little bit about your story on how you came to Calgary, how you stepped into community, and like what that all kind of came from, because that's a hard thing to do. I want to acknowledge that. It's not easy to just like move to a new city and be like, okay, now I'm going to go and like try to meet everyone and make friends. So how did you do it? Take the mic.
So I moved to Calgary in 2019. I moved here with my ex. We decided that we were going to move here because one, it was cheaper, and then two, to Calgary because his family lived around here. It was kind of like the middle ground for like my family in BC and then his family in Saskatchewan, like his parents. And so we decided on Calgary. Once we moved to Calgary, like prior to that, I hadn't been running in a really long time. I started running in grade 12 because my friend and I, we were just like, oh, like, let's just take up running. So took up running there. I think I ran for like maybe till I was like 20-ish. And then, so I stopped running up to that time. Moved to Calgary, and then started sort of like getting back into running when I worked at the hospital, and I had a patient. They were on group walk, and then he decided that he was going to run away and take off. And so then I got a call from one of my coworkers and told me this. And so like I ran out of the nursing unit and down the street, and I was like so out of breath. And so then I was like, oh my goodness, I need to start getting back into running.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Yes. And then so from there, I started like running a bit, and then my ex and I split, and then I moved on my own with my dog. And so then I was like, I'm gonna, like start getting to running a little bit more. So the first time I decided I would like get back into it, not hardcore, but like, just like make more of an effort to get into running. I was like, I'm just gonna run 3 kilometers, no problem. Literally could not even make it like 500 meters without stopping and walking. So yeah,
that is shocking to hear that, because now I just know you as such a runner, but kind of a cool story, I would say, to go back to mixing in what you do for your occupation and that being the thing that has now driven you into what seems like such a big passion for you. So you were running after a patient, and you were like, okay, we gotta catch this guy, and also like my fitness, like I should get back into this. And so you did the 3K. You were like, hey, 3K, I'm gonna do a 3K, and it was really, really hard. Yet now you're a marathon runner. You run like how many marathons have you actually run?
I've only run 2.
What?
Yeah, I did Calgary last year for the first time. That was my first full. Calgary this year, and then I have Minneapolis in September.
That is so exciting.
Yes.
To me, I'm like, she's a runner. She's running marathons like every month. Like she's going hard. But I think I see you as that because you are just so involved in the running community here. Mm-hmm. So how did it go from the 3K one day to now how often you're running?
So I started running with my dog. My dog did not like other dogs, and so I couldn't actually go to like run crew or things like that. So I just started running on my own, and it was like a good way to sort of get him out and about. And yeah, it was just like quick and fast that I could just like run with my dog for like half an hour and then be done with it. So when my dog passed away, I was like, well, maybe now this is like time to go to run crew and like start trying this out. And so I went to run crew. I really can't remember the day, but I remember my mom being there because my mom was in town, and I was like, I kind of want to check out this run crew. And so actually, no, I think I attended another event first, this Arc'teryx run. And then, so I did that. And then I went to run crew one day with my mom. And then I basically did like 1K with the run group and didn't talk to anyone when I was there. And my mom reminded me of this actually the last time that she came. She was like, remember when you used to go to run crew and you didn't like talk to anyone? I was super like growing up, I was really shy. And so I did acting before I got into nursing. And so I think like that helped me sort of get out of my comfort zone. But yeah, so like, yeah, first time at run crew, like didn't talk to anyone. And then I decided I would just like continue to go. And so I think like the second time that I went, I met someone, started chatting with them. It was kind of just, I feel like you just have to like talk to one person, and then you like, it kind of just helps me get things rolling. And then once I kind of know one person, I'm like able to spread myself out a little bit more.
Like step into the world, because one person knows, you know, another one person or another 3 people or however many people. But it's so shocking to me to hear too that you were shy. And I was also the shy girl too. I think we maybe talked about this in a hangout one time, that growing up I was always so quiet, and now like no one would believe that because I'm like speaking in front of audiences and putting on community events and bringing people together. And I really believe, and I would love to hear just like your stream of thought on this, like sometimes our, call it pain, like I know when I was quiet and I was shy, like I didn't like it. I always wanted to be the girl who was like outgoing, and I would hear the girls who were chatting all the time. I was like, oh, why can't I be that? Sometimes our pain can actually become like a superpower for us if we choose to like really look at it and acknowledge it and then lean into it. Which sounds like what you did. Like you were like, okay, I didn't talk to anyone this week, but next week, you know what, I'm gonna try again. So that was now 6 years ago ish.
But I went to run crew first like 3 years ago.
3 years ago. So run crew here in Calgary. And now you've got your own run club. So how did that happen? Like what was that journey from shy girl Brenna to
I mean, I think run crew just had such a big part of my life. Like first, you know, coming here, not really knowing anyone, and like after my ex and I split, like I didn't, like I had work friends and stuff like that, but I didn't have anything outside of work. And sort of being in that relationship, like I just sort of felt like comfortable, so I didn't feel like I needed to like branch out. And so just run crew had such a big part in my life. Like it was just so welcoming, and I just met so many wonderful people that I wanted to run like on Fridays. It was just like this one random Friday that I was like, oh, I kind of want to run. So I reached out to people on Strava, I made a post, and I was like, hey, if anyone wants to run today, like let me know. And I think I just like named it that. And someone was like, oh yeah, I'll come today. And like another person was like, yeah, sure, I'll come. I was like, sweet. So I like decided on El Forno. I don't know why I decided on El Forno. I think it was just like Friday, like what's open late? Okay, El Forno's open late. I'll do that. And so showed up at 5:00. No one else showed up. And I was like, okay, sweet. Like I'll just run by myself, whatever. And then people later messaged me and they were like, oh my gosh, like I wanted to come, but my hair appointment went too long. Like, can you do it next week? And so this was going to be like maybe like a one-off, like every, I don't know, once in a while I would run like a Friday. And then people just kept like being like the next Friday, some people showed up and then they were like, oh, I couldn't make this Friday. Can we do like the next Friday? So then it just kind of turned into this like everyday Friday sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was just kind of like, I mean, the running community is so wonderful that I just wanted to make it like a welcoming environment, like Run Crew was for me. I wanted to be able to connect like with other people as well, maybe that don't go to Run Crew. Yeah, it was just like a fun sort of like
it like
thing.
It snowballed. It sounds
Yeah.
like, and I think the best things do in life, like it usually is unplanned, and it just kind of turns into something. And I mean, I came to your Fun Frugal Friday that one time. You had me teach a yoga class after too, which you're also so good at doing, is involving people. I would say that's one of your superpowers, that you're like, okay, let's get everyone involved and like make no one feel left out. Like, how do you talk to 10 people at one time? Like, that truly is just like a superpower that you have. But what I want to know more of, like, to backtrack a little bit, because Brenna, like, let's say younger Brenna, she was the shy girl. She was a little bit shy, got into a relationship, you were comfortable in that. We have a lot of parallels there. I lived in very similar, like, mine was about 4.5 years. What was your timeline?
6 years?
6?
Yeah.
And when you're in a relationship, and I'm not shitting on relationships at all, but, like, when you get comfortable like that, it can be almost like a death of identity, or like loss of identity, when you get out of that relationship.
Right. Yeah.
So it sounds like a lot of who you are now, it came from that ending. Is that kind of right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like there was a lot of growth. Like, I mean, you learn so much when you're in a relationship, and then you learn so much like of what you want to change for like the next relationship. I found. Yeah, I mean, sort of being in that relationship, there was this like comfortability where I'm just like, well, I don't need to like meet any new people because like I have this person. Like, why would I do such a thing? And I think too, like a lot of my growth kind of became like when I was single, because it's just like, who am I like without this other person? And I also think too that like there were some things that I didn't really agree with when I was in the relationship, and it was like really hard to see past that as well, like just our views and like political views and stuff like that. And so I think that's why like I'm a little bit more like open and outspoken with like how I view things now, because it's just like I feel like I can't be silenced.
Yeah, because you felt like you were silenced. Well, like
maybe I just wasn't able to speak my mind in that relationship, because maybe I just didn't feel like comfortable in myself, and now I just feel comfortable in myself because it's just been me like the last 5 years.
Definitely.
So,
and being solo, it is a journey. Whether, I was gonna say, especially as a woman, but not even, like, I think with anyone, if you choose to do that work, to kind of like take that solo time to look inward, because a lot of people won't. They'll, numb out and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna like continue to go through the motions and just like work my job and go home and watch TV and whatever people do. But I mean, knowing you, you're like, no, I'm gonna do like all of the things that I am so passionate about and not waste a minute in my day. So you have all of these different things that you're involved in, like running being what seems like one of the biggest ones. But I do want to talk about mental health too, because you work in that space, and health is, I mean, I've named this the Health Chats podcast. It's all things. It's more than just fitness and nutrition. I would say mental health and mindset is the biggest piece that got me interested in stepping into the coaching space and into this space. So what was it for you that made you choose the path, if you're open to sharing, of mental health and helping people in that space?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot. My uncle, he suffered from schizophrenia, and so he passed away maybe like 10 years ago now. So I think that's like one of the reasons that sort of like got me into sort of like maybe talking about mental health a little bit more. I also do believe that like everyone does go through some type of like mental health, maybe not like diagnosis, but everyone goes through some sort of like mental health journey. I feel like it's just kind of on a spectrum. But yeah, my uncle, he suffered from schizophrenia, and so that was like, one of the reasons why I did go into nursing. And yeah. I mean, also too, like, I think also being female, or maybe just being human, like, like I said, we all kind of go through our own journey. And so, I think sometimes, like, with women and stuff, there is, sort of this pressure to be maybe like perfect, or this like perfect, now we're kind of getting to like body image and stuff like that, but like this ideal body and stuff. And so like that, along with like society and those pressures, like really can impact a young individual and a young person. And so I think like just trying to change the talk and people's like perceptions.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I love that you bring up body image too, because especially with women and men too, they do deal with it, but I would say it's been more prevalent for women, especially in the last, I mean, my entire life, 27 years, it has felt like. It seems like it's getting better because there are more people who are working in the mental health space and like using their voice and ending the stigma about talking about it. But yeah, like body image, and I'd be curious to know your take on how mental health and how language, because I talk a lot about language in your mind, how that affects how we perceive ourselves.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's a big one.
I know, it's a big question. There's no perfect answer.
Yeah.
It's more just like thought.
Yeah. Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah. So our language, how does the language in our mind, being like our mental game, our mental health, our mental chatter, how does it directly impact how we perceive ourselves?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the time that we do, like, I mean, I hear this all the time, like, even for myself too, right? Where it's like, we sometimes just like beat ourselves up, but we're so nice to our friends, and like we're like so compassionate to our friends, but then when it comes to ourselves, we're like, oh, why didn't we try harder? Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? And so I think that can really impact just the way that we see ourselves as well. It could be like, oh, why am I so stupid? Like, why did I say that? And then to a friend, it's like, oh, like, it's all good. Like, it's totally fine. So I think, I mean, I don't think I really answered that question very well, but I think just the way that we talk to ourselves can definitely impact the way that we see ourselves, right? If we sort of like beat ourselves up and we're like, oh yeah, why are we so stupid, blah 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 blah, like, then we kind of see ourselves in that sort of light.
But it's so true that we, like, the way we speak to our friends or to someone else is so kind and like so nice, yet a lot of us struggle with that internal language, and even like not even just internal but out loud, we'll say things like, oh, I'm so stupid, like little things like that. That's like, you think it's little, but it's actually not. Like, those add up over time, and if you're saying that out loud, what are you saying to yourself in your head? What are you repeating to yourself? And how is that showing up when you're out in the world and your confidence.
Yeah.
And we can even take that back to like both of us when we were like shy girls. Like, what were we saying to ourselves in our mind?
Yeah.
We were probably reaffirming, like, oh, I'm quiet. Like, I can never do that.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Do you have maybe a specific moment where you remember when you were like, no, I'm not going to be that shy girl anymore?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just kind of like an evolution of, yeah. I mean, I think part of it too is like just stepping out of your comfort zone, because once you step out of it, it's like, what do you have to lose? I mean, as I get older, I'm just like, I don't really give any fucks about what anyone thinks of me.
Yeah.
And like, when you're young, it's just like you care so much about what people think of you, like how people perceive you. And I also think too, like growing, like being in high school and stuff, that can be really challenging as well. And so it's just like, it's really challenging to be yourself, because you want to be like cool and fun, and you want people to like you. And so, yeah.
No, it's so true. The older we get, the wiser.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. And there are very wise young humans.
Yes, definitely.
And also, I think the older I get as well, I'm realizing I'm like, God, like me, even a year ago, I'm like, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. And that's the journey. That's the journey of like learning yourself and like going through it and seeing like, oh, I made that mistake. And through that mistake, I'm going to take it as a lesson and keep going forward.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I love that for mental health. Would you say that, I guess, like what you do in your work, because me, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. My life is my work. It's all kind of the same thing. Do you feel like you compartmentalize a little bit, where it's like, this is work, and I'm not going to talk about any of that in my community stuff? Or do they trickle into each other?
I mean, I think they sometimes trickle into each other, but I think like when I first graduated and I first became a nurse, like my life and work were so intertwined. Like it was, I would like go home, I would think about work. I would like text people being like, hey, can you like double check this, that I did this?
Yeah.
Or I'd like look at things like 3 times before I left. And so, I mean, I had to go to therapy after I graduated from nursing, because I was just so anxious, and I was like, I literally cannot live my life like this. And so some of it was like challenging my thinking, and like, if I did do this, like how bad is it that I actually did it? Like what will actually happen? Is the worst case scenario going to happen? So now I feel like taking that, like I am able to, and like using distraction techniques and stuff, like I am able to leave work at work, and it's just like I did the best that I can, and now it's like I'm done.
Yeah. And you just like shut it off, and you're like, okay, and on to the things that light my fire.
Yes, for sure. But I mean, the thing is too, right, is like, yes, we do live in a world where like people do, go through their own mental health journeys, and they do suffer from like mental health illnesses and stuff. And so like, yeah, of course that comes into my life outside of work and stuff.
Outside of what you do.
Yeah.
And so, because I want to talk more about community stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's, I mean, it's all exciting. Everything, just being a human, is exciting to me. And like, we all have so many different layers to us. Would you say, because you said like there's family stuff that got you into your career path.
Yeah.
The community stuff, it's just kind of like, it's snowballed into this thing. Did you have a plan? Like, go back in time where you like, when I grow up, I'm going to get this job, I'm going to do this thing. Or has it just kind of unfolded?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I was younger, I definitely thought that, I mean, like, in my personal life, I definitely thought I'd be married, have kids, and do all that kind of stuff. And so now that I'm almost 32, I'm like, I don't have any of those things. But yeah, I think like I've just kind of let life sort of unfold. Like, honestly, I never thought I would be a nurse. I'm shocked that I am one, because when I was in high school, I was like, I'm going to be an actress. I'm not going to take any sciences. I don't need sciences, because I'm not going to do anything like that will need that. And so, yeah, I've kind of just like, I don't know, taken life as it comes, and just like seeing where it goes.
Let's talk about the acting for a second, because I totally skimmed over that.
Yeah.
You were doing acting classes?
Yeah.
When you were younger?
Yeah.
And you thought you'd be an actress?
Yeah.
At some point?
Yeah.
Where did that go? Or are you doing it in the dark behind
No,
the scenes?
No, it's something that I like never do anymore. I mean, when I was in nursing school, they sometimes would like need people to, I don't know, like act out a scenario of like someone like flipping tables or getting angry. And so I did that sort of thing of like how nurses would like calm someone down if that happened. So that was really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got into acting. I mean, I don't know, like when you're in high school and like elementary school, you're like, I want to be famous. I want to like do all these things. And now I'm like, oh my God, I feel so bad for people like Justin Bieber or like, you know, people who have constant like are under scrutiny. But yeah, in high school, in elementary school, like I did acting and stuff like that. And then I auditioned for Capilano University after, like after high school. And so I got into that the first year. And then after the first year, you have to audition again. And it's actually something that I do talk about it now, but I always felt so embarrassed because I was like, I never got in the second year. And so I would always just kind of tell people like, oh, like it wasn't the path that I wanted to take and whatever. But it was like, no, I actually like was kind of forced out of it in a sense where it was just like, I didn't get accepted into the second year. And so then I just kind of had to pivot a bit where I was like, what am I going to do? And with acting, like you don't even have to do any post-secondary, but I just sort of felt like, okay, that's like, I'm done with it, whatever. Mm-hmm. So then, yeah, I just like started taking random courses in post-secondary and then, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Well,
yeah.
I want to push you a little bit to get back into it. That's the dreamer in me. That's like, I want to see Brenna acting. You just made a reel with Mel and Reba.
Yes. That was so fun.
That was so cute. And I'm connecting the dots. I'm like, here's our actress. Like, there she is on Instagram doing her thing. But no, I see that. Like, I think it's like you said with natural evolution, like our paths, they do change. And even in like pursuing entrepreneurship, what I'm doing now, it's not what I thought I would be doing at all. And I think like when totally different than going to school, it's not that I was accepted, but it's kind of those realizations that we have along the way that are like, okay, like, you know, I could try to go this way, but if I go that way, is that going to feel the most aligned? Is that right for me? Is that going to set me up for success? A lot of times, you know, we don't really know, but we can choose a direction that does feel more, I guess, aligned or like stable based on what we want to do with our lives. And like being able to start now these community groups, I think that's incredible. I mean, speaking as someone too who I started Humankind, it's amazing and fun and incredible, and also like I don't have a day job where I can, you know, fund that.
Yeah.
I don't have that. It's fully coming from passion and like hope and trust, and sometimes I might put something on and I'm in the hole from it, which to be like in a realistic world, that's not always possible. That's not how things can run. There's nothing there that can help with it. So I'm curious with like your group, your run club, if you have any goals for where you want it to go. It seems like you're doing a lot of collaboration kind of stuff right now. Like, what is that vision?
I mean, I think I still like the collaboration piece, where I kind of want to see it go. I mean, I don't really know, to be totally honest. Like, I think it would be reaching more people and having it accessible to more people and having like more people come so they feel like they have a safe space. I mean, like the running community has done so much for me. Like, I feel so welcome when I go there. And so like, I want that for someone else as well. Some other things that like I would really like to do is just like give back to the community. I mean, I think living in Alberta, it's a really challenging time because sometimes when I feel like we're making a couple steps, like we're moving forward, we take like 5 steps back sometimes. And so like I think I just feel like in BC we're a little bit more progressive, and here in Alberta, like I just sometimes feel like for example, like the LGBTQ community, like I feel like we need to do more in that sort of area, and so that's why I really focus like our like charity work and working with like those different types of foundations. I really think that's important because I think we need people who are allies and who are able to like stand up and say that like we need more funding in that area and we need more people to I don't know
just get involved.
Yeah, get involved.
Yeah, it's like funding to get involved, to get awareness out, because you're right, like if no one knows about it, then what is it doing?
Yeah.
And I would say you've done a really good job of getting people to know about it by just honestly posting on social media, people who maybe have larger audiences sharing, collaborating with you, and the more you keep showing up through consistency, I think it will absolutely get there. Yeah. Consistency is the key.
Yes.
It is the key. So something that I do want to talk about is run clubs, because you've got your community for Fridays, but then there's YYC Run Crew, which is twice a week, right?
Yeah.
Tuesdays, Sundays. And there are so many people who go to these clubs, and I'm very curious about the dating scene. Okay. Because we know right now that you are single.
Yeah.
And it's been some time since you're in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, being a fit, healthy girl who has gone out to these things, and I see fit, healthy, I'm attracted to men.
Yeah.
How has the dating game been? Has it been awkward? I want to hear like everything.
Okay. I mean, I have gone on dates with people from like the running community and stuff like that, but I think it's like a very like sacred space in the sense that I'm like, I don't really want to date anyone with like in that sort of like run group that I know, unless I know like it's a for sure thing, because I don't like I don't want to make it awkward or weird or anything like that. I mean, we're also all adults as well, so it's kind of just like, I guess I also do tell people that too, where I'm just like, okay, like who cares if you dated someone there, like you'll get over it, and like with time you'll be able to move on. But yeah, I just feel like it is, yeah, I don't really like want to mesh it too much where I'm like, you know, intertwined. Yeah, so I try and keep it like maybe a little bit separate. I obviously want to date someone. I guess I have this ideal of like dating someone who also like runs, and like we can like wake up Saturday morning and go for a run together and like sit on the porch afterwards and drink Al Forno. Or no, analog.
We'll beat that out.
Yeah.
That's so cute. And also, how are you gonna meet that person if you're not?
I know. I struggle with this all the time where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of apps and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, but I'm not gonna meet anyone just laying here on my couch.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I also think too, like, not putting the pressure on myself to find someone either, because it's like, I think through therapy and stuff like that, like I've talked to my therapist about this, where it's just like not putting that pressure to find anyone, because I can find my own happiness by just doing things that I enjoy. And like when I kind of put the pressure on myself to find someone, it's like then I don't find anyone, you know what I mean? And so I feel like when I just like let it naturally happen, it's like if it happens, it happens. If I meet someone, like, awesome. But yeah, no, that's totally fair. I don't know how the hell anyone meets anyone now.
I don't mean to like therapize you right now, but yeah, I can see how it, like in your community where you're so involved, it can be, it's almost like that wall, like you said, it's like the sacred space, but it's almost like a wall you put up too that's like, well, I don't want to date you guys because this is such a special space, but like at the same time we're adults. I think there could be something there. There could be someone there. And I'm not a relationship expert at all by any means. I mean, yeah, I think also what I really like that you said is like you find happiness and joy in the things that you do. And I think that's such a healthy place to enter a relationship from, because you're feeling whole in yourself. You're not seeking anything from anyone. And God, like dating apps and this health chat turned into like real, which I love, like girly chats, but I hate them. I hate them so much. It feels like you're shopping for a human. It feels so surface. You're looking at like, look at what I look like, look at what I do for work, look at my zodiac sign, and you know nothing about the person. You don't know if you connect.
100%.
So there's like this pressure, and I haven't been on apps in a long time, but this pressure, I think, probably still, where you go and you sit down with them, and it's like, okay, if we don't mesh right away, like, what are we doing here? And you don't actually take the time to get to know the person.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at any relationship, like, even us, we met a year ago. Yeah. We're just getting to know each other. Like, it takes so much time. Yeah. And so, I don't know, I have a big, like, X on dating apps. Like, I'm anti-dating app personally. Yeah. But, I mean, you have your ideal partner, so if anyone's listening, if you fit all of that,
the requirements are so low right now.
You just have to be a runner, and you have to drink coffee. You have to, like, analog.
Yes. Honestly, oh, how nice would that be? Just, like, someone, like, bring me coffee to work, you know? Like, once in a while, once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bar is low.
I think he exists. I mean, they exist. Yeah. And they'll come around.
Yeah.
When they're meant to.
Yes.
But tell me a dating story. Do you have any, like, cringy dating app dates experiences?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think, like, early on, I don't know if I have, like, really bad ones.
No recent?
No, I'm trying to think. I mean, maybe I do, but maybe I literally can't think of any on the spot right now. I do remember, like, going on a date with a guy, and I was like, oh my goodness, how can I get out of this? This is so brutal. He was just, like, all around and just, like, hopping from one thing to the next and, like, going in the water, and it was chaotic.
On the date?
Yes. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I just want to get out of here. But, I don't know. I mean, I think going on first dates is actually kind of fun. I mean, okay, it's like a lot of energy, but I actually think it's one of the easier things to do is going on first dates, because you actually don't know anything about anyone. So it's like you could ask them like a bajillion and one questions, and like, yeah, I don't know, like, it's kind of fun going on first dates. I think, like, the more dates, it's like, do you mesh? And I think that maybe makes it a little bit more hard and difficult. But yeah, I think, like, first dates are kind of fun because it's like you don't know anything about them. So it's like, what do you like to do? Yeah. Where have you been before? What? Yeah.
You're getting to know them.
Yeah.
Do you like to ask a lot of questions?
I feel like I'm the one who always asks the questions, and so I feel like I don't mind asking the questions, but it would be nice to, like, be asked the questions.
Totally. Well. Yeah. I honestly don't really talk about my dating life publicly.
Yeah.
A ton, just because it feels like a private thing for me. But something that I learned recently through, it was either a book, like a relationship book, or podcast. It was about, like, the masculine and the feminine in relationships and in dating. And I, as a woman, am a very masculine driven woman. I mean, hi, we're on a podcast that I started because I have a business, and, like, it exists in this century, but it hasn't always been that way. And this podcast or book, wherever I heard it from, they said, when you're having a conversation, say, like, you're speaking with a man as a woman, give 20 seconds, which feels like a long time. Like, if you ask them a question, or if they ask you a question, give 20 seconds and allow there to be silence. And I heard that and I was like, ooh, that feels so weird. Like, we have to fill the space with something. Like, I should ask them another thing. But men's brains, biologically, they work differently than our brains. They don't have 20,000 thoughts per minute like we do. They have like 5. Yeah. So giving that space, that 20 seconds of space to allow them to have another thought, it will come up. It does. Actually gives us way less pressure to ask those questions and gives them opportunity to ask us questions.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a new thing for me, but I mean, I've been trying it and it has felt really nice.
Okay, maybe I should give that a try too. Although I honestly don't know if I can. The silent, awkward space, it's like, it's so uncomfortable to be in that I'm like,
yeah,
oh God, I don't want to have anything like that. So,
totally.
Yeah.
And that's, I would say that's like the type of discomfort to lean into. It's like, why is it uncomfortable? Why do I always feel like I have to, you know, fill this space with something? And I think, I mean, to like psychoanalyze everything, it's like a need for control. Like, yeah, I want to control this conversation and like make sure it goes the way that I want it to go. But again, back to like dating apps versus meeting people organically. We met a year ago and we're still getting to know each other. Like, if we're always trying to fill that space, we're kind of in a rush to like try and make this relationship work. And as we're going into something, we're probably going to go out of something just as quickly. So if the goal is, and I know for me it is like having a partner, a long-term relationship, allow that slowness, allow that awkwardness. It's very rare to meet anyone where, you know, you have a conversation that's like you've known each other forever. It does happen, but I think it's pretty rare. But we hold on to those like one-offs and we're like, but I have this one girlfriend or this one guy friend, and like it's like we were best friends the moment we met, so like I should always, you know, but it's rare. It does take time. And,
no, that's very, very true. I think that's one of the hard things with dating is like kind of this, it takes a while to like build that connection and also like build that trust as well.
And in like the grand scheme of things, what's the rush? Like if we're actually looking for a partner who we want to spend, say, the rest of our life with, or even like the next 10 years, like who really knows with time, why do we have to have it all figured out on this one date or even in like this first week? Because that's a drop in the ocean of life. And it takes a lot of patience. And I know we're fast moving people.
Yes.
But it can be, I think relationships can be one of the best personal development tools. Just as I think like a health journey or a business journey, because it magnifies those areas of you that, I mean, you might be avoiding.
For sure.
Or you might be aware of and you're, you know, turning a blind eye to, because you're like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to keep like doing my thing and going at the pace of my life. But it's like that pace of your life is you alone. That's not you with someone. And I say this so often. I feel like I probably said it on another podcast episode, but like you can go really fast alone, but you can go really far with someone else, because they do mirror that to you, where they're like, hey, these are things that, you know, you're not looking at because you're letting yourself continue to just this got so cute and deep. I love where this is going.
But you do learn so much from being in a relationship, for sure, like about yourself, and even in the realm of dating and stuff like that as well.
Totally. And I would say like being in the role of community person, community girl, being the leader, being the speaker, which I can relate to you in many ways. It also adds kind of a layer of pressure to dating, because I don't know, like you're being seen, you are magnified to like a larger audience than just like any person here. So you do kind of protect your energy. Would you say, like, is that true for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think too, like, it you know, it's, to me, it's like really important to choose the people that I'm around, because I think it reflects like who I am as well. And so like if I have really amazing like friends and like a partner and stuff like that who's like really supportive and like agrees with the things that I like, that I also strongly believe in, like that's really important to me, because that's also like a reflection of who I am as well. So I don't know if that makes sense. That did, but
no, it did make sense. You want someone whose values align with you, and you should never settle for anyone. Absolutely. never keep your standards high.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, well, I want to ask a few final questions, and we'll wrap up these. I always say, I'm like, these are going to be rapid fire, but I suck at that because I'm like a slow hippie. So they're not going to be rapid fire at all. The first question is, what is lighting you up the most in your life right now? Personal, professional, anything.
What's lighting me up?
Mm-hmm.
I think just like the cool opportunities that I've had within the running community. I know I talk a lot about the running community, but it's like it honestly has given me so much opportunity. It has made me feel like so it's made me have so many good connections with other people. Like I've traveled with people that I've run with, and like it has just made me feel so like a sense of belonging to a sense of like family away from like actual family as well. So I think that's what like really lights me up. It's just like, I don't know, going to like running groups and stuff. That's what truly lights me up.
I love that. And I see that. I absolutely do. Even when you talk about it, you've got glimmers in your eyes. Do you have anything probably running related or anything coming up that you want to promote or tell people about?
Well, I mean, this Friday I have Fun Frugal Friday and Milk YYC, but I don't know if it's going to come out in time, but that's totally fine. It doesn't. But yeah, I reached out to Milk Ice Cream, which is like my favorite ice cream right now in Calgary. And so from every scoop that someone purchases during our run that day, $1 will go to End of the Rainbow Foundation, which is a charity within Calgary. It is a charity for like refugees that come to Calgary within the LGBTQ community. So
love that. Oh, I know. I already told you I can't make. Actually, I think I can make it because it's early, right?
It's 5 p.m.
I should be able to make it. Okay, before the festivities. I'm going
yes,
to
I know with Stampede it's like so hard as well, but I wanted to. I mean, June is Pride Month, but also like Pride Month doesn't have to stop at the end of June. But I wanted to like make something within June, but there's just so many things going on. So I was like, okay, I'll make it July then.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
As close to June as I can.
Do it anyways.
Yeah.
Absolutely do it anyways. Doesn't matter when it is. You're passionate about it, so make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay, final question. How would you, or how do you define success in your life?
Oh, goodness. Oh. Whoa. Okay. How do I define success? I don't know. Like, I guess if I'm happy, then that's what makes me the most successful. Like, I think that's all that really matters is that, like, if I'm happy at the end of the day, then that is success because money can't buy you happiness. So I don't know.
I love that.
I don't know.
It's a big question.
Yeah.
And I even love that you said money can't buy you happiness. And I'm going to like expand off of your answer because almost, I would say, actually every single person that I've asked that question to has said something similar and has said nothing to do with a number around money. And the reason I asked that is because it seems like there's still this big external thing with a lot of the world that is chasing money in hopes that it makes them happy and it makes them feel successful. And if they have X amount in their bank account, then yay, I'm successful. But everyone I've spoken to, nothing to do with money. So
I mean, I grew up like my stepdad, like, or my mom's ex-husband, like, was very well off, and so we went on these like extravagant trips and stuff like that. Had, could buy lots of things, got what I wanted a lot of the time, and it definitely felt very lonely at home. I felt like very lonely growing up, and it was not a happy household at all. And so like no one was happy. And so it's like you have those memories of like, wow, that awesome trip, but also like there was a lot that came with that as well. So yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. So if people want to find you,
Yes.
where shall they go?
They can go to Instagram. My Instagram handle is I am Thiessen. I made it so long ago that I'm like, oh my gosh, this Instagram is like so brutal. But you can also find us on Fun Frugal Friday Runners on Instagram, or Strava.
So cute.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you so much for sharing today.